Hi guys, in this session we continue on. We'll be dealing with string functions. How do we apply string functions on our string objects? For example, we've got this variable here, my string. To find the data type of an object in Python, by the way, you do the type, you type the type function. So you take type my string. Then you print this. Just print it so that we can see what type this is. You'll realize that, okay, let me save. You'll realize that we have got str here, which means my string is an object of the class str. This is applicable also on other data types like ints. Let's check then the applicable methods in such data types. Let's see, we'll say type my string. Let's try to say type my string and then say dir on it. Save. Let's run this. You can see this dir on this given data type returns the functions which are applicable on the objects on all objects of type str. So we've got translate, we've got split, we've got replace, partition, and so on. So now if you want to master how, for example, the rfind or the join method works, we can use the help feature in Python. We can say help, say help str, because that thing returned str dot, let's say join. Let's try to check how the join works. Save. Let's run that. Then you can see that that's the help feature for join. Join returns a string which is a concatenation of the strings in the iterable. So you give it some strings, it will join them for you. So let's work on some of the methods given so that we can have a taste of how to use them. So we'll first use the strip function. We'll say my string dot strip. Save. Let's see what happens. See, our my string variable had at least 3 blanks in the beginning, but when you print using strip, those 3 blanks are removed. So that's how it works. But if you would use maybe rstrip, because there is another function called rstrip, let's see how that's going to work. Using rstrip, we still have our blanks at the beginning, but rstrip doesn't remove those. It goes at the end and tries to remove whatever that was there. So there was nothing there, so it just didn't do anything for now. But there is another variant called lstrip, which will strip the blanks from the left. Let's run and see. Now we see the hello without the blanks because lstrip took all the blanks from the left. Let's try another function called isUpper. This will tell us whether the string is uppercases or not. Since we've got small letters as well, so it may return false. Of course, we can see there is a false there because we've got lowercase letters as well. So now let's try maybe 2 or 3 more. Starts with, let's put a starts with there. Let's see, start with will have to be given at least a word or a letter. Let's see if the word or the string, my string, contains or starts with a blank. It's true, it does start with a blank. Let's remove that blank and see if still it starts with a blank. says false. Let's put hello here and see if it starts with hello. Save. That's true, because the string starts with hello. There is a matching or an equivalent or function called ends with. Let's see. That one is for testing whether the given word or substring is part of the suffix of the given string. So does it end this string here? Is it the last word in this string given there? Hello for sure is not the last word there, so it won't return a true, so it will return a false. Let's check. That's a false. So if you put strings though there, strings, let's check, it returns true, because strings or the my string ends with the strings word. Yes guys, so now let's try the find method. Let's try the find method. The find method is supposed to return us the index of the given substring. Starting from the left to the right, it's supposed to tell us where it found the given substring. Let's do a similar function called now that was find. Let's try index. Okay, let's try and see. It returns a 32. Let's put a 2 there. We know very well the string given my string doesn't contain strings 2. Run that. Yes, so this one now returns substring not found. It's because the index function differs from the find function in a manner such that index returns an exception, a value error, when it doesn't find the substring, but the other one, find, returns a -1. Let's put here, find returns a -1 if the word or the substring is not found in the given text. So that's it. You can continue trying other functions. Maybe as a parting shot, I should try count. There's another find, a nice function called find or count. It's supposed to count the occurrences of the given substring. So I'll say count strings in the given text. It will say it found it once. Then I'll say find the occurrences of i's in the given substring. It will say there's only one I there. Yes, there's only one I. How about L? I think there should be 3 L's there. Yeah, it finds 3 L's. You can search whatever character you want to search for. LO should appear once because it's only in hello. So yes, that's it guys. You can continue experimenting. You can also check whether a number is numeric or not. You can also check if it's a decimal, and so on and so forth. You can continue just experimenting with all the functions as given by the dir function here. As a quick exercise, let's try to apply our knowledge in this string here. Let me give this string quickly. So this string is part of an Apache server's access log files. So we have got an IP address here. We have got a username here. The person was trying to access the server. There is a date there. Then there is an HTTP method, the get method. Then here is the resource this person was trying to access. And then somewhere on the right you'll see whether the person was successful or not. So I just got a snapshot of some HTTP access log and then put it here. So the exercise, quick exercise we have to do is to extract the IP addresses and the usernames of the people who are accessing. So let's just use the split feature so that now we can have each of those lines as list items. So because we use the three chords here to separate our strings, we're free now to use a string method called split lines. So we can say lines list. Let's define split lines and assign to it my text tool. As a lines list, sorry guys, lines list, and assign it to this dot split lines. So now let's print lines list. Save. Let's run this. You can see each of those lines are now part of a list. You can see the square brackets here, open, close. So this big list contains each of those lines as items. So the first item finishes there, the second item starts, then it ends somewhere here, then the next item starts here. So now let's continue on. Let's continue. So now we are going to use split lines. Sorry guys, I made a mistake here. Should be split lines. Save. Yeah, made a mistake there. Split lines. So now you can see the items are clearly defined. First items starts here, open quote, close quote. Second item, open quote, close quote. Third item until the end. So now let's use list comprehension to extract the IP address as well as the user for the person who was accessing our server. So I'll say lines list assign. I'll use I as an iteration variable. So I'll say for you guys should remember in the last session we did cover list comprehension. Please revisit this section and master what we're going to be doing here, because we are not going to give much explanation of the list comprehension now because we did discuss it 3 videos in the past. So I'll say for I in so lines list. So I'm iterating through the elements of line list. So I'll start with the first one, 0th element until the end. So for now, let us return I. The assumption is each of those is going to be printed. So lines list IPs. Let me put IPs here. So each of those is going to be printed. Let's say print lines list. Save. Let's check. Yes, each of the lines have printed. So there's no much difference we have seen. We're just returning whatever was on top there because we're printing each one by one. So now let's say we'll take each of those lines, then we split by a hyphen and then take the first element. What essentially we're trying to do is in each of these lines we are going to split them, put commas wherever we see a hyphen. So then the first element in the list is going to be this one. The second element will be that one. So let's pick the first element. To pick the first element in each of the lines, we'll index it with a 0. Let's save that and let's print the IPs. Let's see if we get the IPs. Run this. Yes, guys, you can see we've got the IP addresses which we're trying to access our server from that Apache text. So now let's get the users. I would like to put this in parentheses so that they resemble a structure called a tuple. So now we're going to get the user. So now let's check to get the user. Because we have already split, we can just say because we have already seen we can split, we can say I dot split, then we take the second element. Let's do that. I dot split using this hyphen, then we take the second element. Second element is at 1. But if you do so, you realize that it will take everything from Frank until here. Let's see the output. Let's check. Yeah, so it takes everything from Frank until the end. So let's now focus on the second element here and try to split it by the blank space so that this becomes a comma and there is a comma there. Then we'll take the first element being Frank, and the same will appear on the following items. So we'll still split this. Dot split. If we don't put the split separator here, it's assumed that it's a blank. So let's then take the first element there at 0. Then let's run this. Yes, as we can see now, Frank tried to access our server from this IP address, and then Joe tried from this IP address, then Frank tried another IP address, Bob tried at 43.3.0.1. At this moment, guys, I think this is enough for functions in Python. Is what I'd like to urge you is you can try and practice some more so that in the next session when we do I/O, no one is lost. Please subscribe and enjoy your day for now. Thank you so much for your patience.